It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Not since the 90s have we seen the unisex theme come back, but now quite strongly we're seeing menswear collections which actually can be worn by women. It's this kind of girl meets boy and boy dressing as a girl that really is becoming strong, recurrent globally and now locally as well.
With soft pleating and sheer fabrics, Orange Culture's latest collection harks back to an era where both sexes wore similar silhouettes.
What were your sources of inspiration for the silhouettes and the fabrication?
So my collection is inspired by a fisherman's tale. So it's like something I used to see when I was younger in Lagos. We had this bridge where you pass and there'd be like lonely fishermen like rowing their boats and like getting fish. I would love like just how stylish they were and like just seemed like they were in love with their passion. And I wanted to explore that. And the fabrics are very like soft because my brand is Androgynous. So there are shapes inspired by women.
This androgynous unisex theme, it's actually been happening quite a lot. We're seeing it in quite a few collections. Do you think this is now like a global concept?
I think it's the celebration of a man who sort of is in touch with his femininity, almost going into the metrosexual man and now going even further. Men and women can be in the same place and, they're not defined by their sort of gender. It's not because you're male or because you're female. Anybody can do what they want. So it's kind of celebrating that line being broken.
And is it difficult or easier to design for both sexes at once?
It's more difficult, to be honest. It's not the easiest thing because making it appeal to every man is kind of like the hard part. It's almost like a niche thing, but with time it sort of grows and people begin to accept it as the fan base increases.
Androgynous chose conventionally feminine fabrics for shapes which would loosely conceal the body and soften the hard edges of menswear.
Because I want to target both men and women, I had to be super strategic about accommodating for both genders. So I had to do a lot of flow, a lot of oversize, just using elasticated waistbands and just gauging a collection that I feel would be best for both male and female. I think a lot of people are getting a lot more comfortable with who they are and people are just taking boundaries, and it's so important not to pretend yourself to what society says that you should be and how you should dress, and just use this as an opportunity to just break that bridge and just make that gap.
Ever since her debut show, Kim Gush has established herself as an alternative menswear designer who breaks rules and refuses to conform.
As usual, really pushing the boundaries, super edgy. I really think of you as kind of being that niche in the South African industry, but how is it going?
I think because it's such a niche, it will struggle a lot. Men in South Africa are still getting used to that whole pushing the boundaries,
So you work predominantly in black, so the details are really important. What kind of themes did you follow this year?
It's always important to make sure that I am contrasting and showing texture and stuff like that, and that's why we always love to work with leather and we love to work with the fluid, so that we really give some kind of motion and interest to the garments. This time we did a very orange is the new black, Hispanic cholo kind of vibe, so we were really going with the Catholic interest of the rosaries, they're very religious, and then also with the very Tupac bandanas and very street edgy. Those kind of details really set the tone always.
Celebrating individuality, androgynous designs make a personal and sartorial statement.